Hello, my soul friend, and welcome to your mystic message. If you were intuitively drawn to this reading today, then the universe has a message for you. We are going to be using the Work Your Light Oracle deck to see what it is that you need to find out. So we are going to go ahead and get started by pulling 3 cards to figure out the general theme of your message today. So universe, what does our soul friend need to know today? What is important and what is significant? All right, your first card is the initiation. How exciting. So this has the wisdom message of rite of passage, crossing the threshold. This is a really strong spiritual sign that something actually significant is going to happen to you, either in a spiritual or life sense. So let's get the next card. The next card is the Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? So it seems like what you are going to be initiated on is an initiation of self-care. And this could be coming to you because you have struggled in the past, or maybe you aren't investing enough into yourself and the universe is saying, hey, you need to stop and you need to reorient your life to take care of yourself more. So one way I've heard this described is you need to treat yourself like a person you care about. You need to care about yourself. You need to love yourself. That is what self-care is. So let's get the next card. We have the card No. Wait, postpone, pause, say no. So this could be a sign that you are a bit of a yes man or a yes woman or a yes person, and perhaps you are saying yes to things that are harmful to you or is taking time away from what you need to do or to take care of yourself. And the universe is saying you need to start saying no. You need to start pausing and spending time with yourself. Now, this card is also a sign that you need to pause some of your projects right now, perhaps for a few hours or a few days, maybe longer, but probably not that long. So that way you can do your self-care initiation. This seems to be a spiritually significant initiation. It's almost like a coming of age ceremony or a life ceremony that you need to do for yourself. So it's not just doing self-care for yourself. It should represent a turning point in your life. So don't just do your ordinary self-care practices if you're already doing them. I want you to do something special. I want you to do something significant. So a good example of this is, say someone has the normal self-care practice of meditation, but perhaps they only meditate for 10 or 20 minutes a day. Personally, me, I can only stand about 5 minutes of meditation, but when I want to do a lot of self-care, it can be really helpful to do a longer meditation or a meditation in a different place. I know in East Asia, for example, people don't tend to meditate every day, or if they do, they don't do it for long hours at a time, but they will often go to, at least in South Korea at least, monastery stays where they will stay a few hours or a few nights so that way they can get a longer meditative and contemplative experience. So you want to do something more significant, something more ceremonial to initiate a new self-care paradigm. Now, obviously, whatever this initiation you're going to do, it's not going to be something you do every day. It's going to be special, but it should represent something you are going to integrate. So if you have never meditated before, perhaps you're going to do a meditation, a longer meditation, and then your normal self-care practice is going to be shorter meditations than what you're going to be doing for your initiation. So go ahead and go overboard for your initiation. You're not going to do that whole big experience every time you do a self-care practice. This is a special session. So the next thing we are going to do is figure out what more about why you need to do this initiation. So, universe, why does our soul friend need to do this initiation? What is going on? Why are we having this no card? What does our soul friend need to know? What's important? So your first card is Trust the Niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? So there is something in your intuition right now that is saying something is off. This card has a bit of a dark energy to it. And this could be negative spirits, but it could also be something in your life that is amiss. That is the reason why you need to do self-care, because something is not right. And you know intuitively what this is. You may be thinking of it right now as we're talking about it, but you need to really address that issue. You need to really recognize that issue, because I don't think you can do appropriate self-care until you recognize the problem and name it. The next card is Emrama. Where are you being called to journey to? So I think one of the reasons why you're being called to say no and wait and postpone is that you are going in the wrong direction. And the universe wants you to course correct, but you can't course correct until you do that self-care initiation, because I think you are going to have a very introspective initiation. You are going to reflect, and you are going to figure out whatever is that thing that is at the back of your mind that is bothering you. You are going to figure out what it is, and you are going to say, wow, I know exactly what's wrong, and I need to make a change in my life. So that is what you're going to be doing. You are going to make a change, and your new destination is going to be so much better. So the third card, this is a fun card. This is the play card with the wisdom message of have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. So yes, you need to do this self-care initiation, but I don't want you to just do like big ceremonial introspective activities. I want you to connect something fun with it. So let's say someone is going to do a hour-long meditation. I don't think I could personally ever do that, but let's say that was somebody's self-care initiation. And one thing that they can do at the end of that ceremony is to watch a movie they know will uplift them, or maybe go on a hike or go for a swim. But you need to attach something fun, something youthful, something really joyous to whatever your self-care initiation is, and have fun with it. It doesn't have to be something that other people do. It could be something that is just something you enjoy. One of my self-care practices is to do jigsaw puzzles. I find them really enjoyable and relaxing. So just do whatever feels right to you, whatever seems fun. The fourth card is don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? So I think you are really disappearing. You are really fading into the background. I think you are perhaps trying to people please and trying to do what other people expect of you. And to some degree, I think everybody needs to do this. They need to conform themselves to society a little bit, but never too much. We're all individuals in a society. And what I want you to recognize is that you have gone too far. You have conformed too much for who you are, and you need to pull back. You need to start expressing yourself more. And I know you're thinking that's really scary, and yes, it can be scary to be different, but being different isn't what makes it difficult to fit in. It is having antisocial behaviors. We've all seen popular people who were like kind of weird or kind of strange, but they got along with other people's, and that's just because they were really friendly. They were able to connect. So understand that what makes you an individual isn't what makes you unable to fit in. One example that I often tell people is, have you ever seen, or maybe you were one of these kids in school who were nerds or geeks or really into anime? You know, they tend to have pretty close friend groups. So what I want you to recognize is that no matter how weird you are, people are going to be attracted to that because they're also weird in some way. And sometimes there's a perfect matchup. And what I want you to recognize is that you don't dim your individuality to fit in. The way that you fit in is by pro-social behavior. So I want you to really start separating those two things. And if you are someone who is neurotypical, perhaps you're autistic, or you have ADHD, so you have some impulse problems, understand that even if you have some difficulties communicating with others, you probably have other good traits, or you're going to be able to learn social traits. But who you are, what you're interested in, your individuality, that needs to stay. Pro-social behaviors and your individuality are two different things. You don't need to dim yourself in order to fit in. So the last thing we are going to do is pull 2 cards just to end on for anything else the universe wants you to know. Universe, what does our soul friend need to know before we end out on this reading today? What does our soul friend need to know? What is important? So this first card here, pretty good card after the last one, is the Great Gathering. It's all coming together, intuitive hits, soul tribe. So either you are not in a place where you are around people that you enjoy, or perhaps you aren't connecting with your current community as much. And I think the universe is going to help you fit in more by sending you to the right people. So know that when you learn to not dim yourself to fit in, the universe is going to make sure that you have an opportunity to spend more time with the people who will appreciate you as an individual. The next card and the last card today is boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? So remember before when we were saying no, obviously that is a boundary. You also need to set the boundary of not being yourself. And I think what is important for you to know today is that you are too porous, you are too receptive, and it's okay to be open, it's okay to receive things, but there are things in people and spiritual entities that you shouldn't be receiving into your life. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to specialize. You are allowed to have preferences. And I want you to know that your preferences are about your individuality. Now, obviously, this is different from being rude, right? You can have boundaries where you don't want to spend time with certain people, but you could still be polite to them. You could agree to say no and to just agree to disagree. So understand that having boundaries isn't being impolite. It is just making sure that you are in an environment that is supportive to you, and whoever you invite into your boundaries is someone that you can support and you can have a wonderful time with. So my soul friend, this was a great reading. It seems like things are going to fall into place for you, and your life is going to be more enjoyable and more comfortable after you do that self-care initiation. So if you resonated with this reading, be sure to like and subscribe for more. If you didn't feel like this reading resonated with you, be sure to leave a wish or prayer to the universe in the comments. That way you can get realigned. Otherwise, everyone else, be sure to let me know what it is you are hoping for over the next month in the comments. That way I can send a blessing your way. Otherwise, I can't wait to see you again.